I can't believe I get to say it. They have officially bounced Joy Reid from her time slot at MSNBC. This indicates that her and somebody else, and maybe a few other people, won't be with the network for very much longer. There's no time slot, then there must be no job. And look, this is going to be a relief to many of us who try to tolerate the other side's reporting of events. And let's face it, no more Primetime means no one believes in your thought crimes. And we've now come to an inglorious end for one of the people dubbed the most racist on television. Let's dive into it. Here we go. Now, before we get started and talk about all the hemorrhaging that's been happening over at MSNBC, specifically with Reid out, let's visit on the fact that I am on my way to 100,000 here this year, and I can only do that with your support. As our audience continues to grow, we continue to flourish, and I'm able to get to more and more folks out there. But I can only do that with you, so double check that you're still subscribed to the channel down below, and hopefully we'll be at our goal sooner rather than later. But for now, let's go. Hemorrhaging viewers. That's right. This show by Joy Reid in particular has been falling apart. It had well over 1.3 million viewers a year ago, and now it's down to 973,000. Those numbers are not going to keep you on the air for very long. In fact, I think one of the reasons we no longer have the CW is because it was doing better than Joy Reid. But to get a little kinder perspective, we're going to jump into an article from Variety that I think will be very kind to Joy. Why, I don't know, but let's take a look anyway. From the headline, Joy Reid and Alex Wagner axed from MSNBC lineup in major network shakeup. Now, there are a lot of reasons why this is occurring. Beyond this particular headline is the fact that Comcast is trying to kick this network far away from the mothership. It's contaminated, it's poisoned, and it's something they need to walk away from very quickly, since right now they have a lot of government regulation services looking at them very, very closely. And overall, this is bigger than just this particular show, or even the one that Alex Wagner's from. This is about a complete remake of what the network looks like at night. In fact, in this first line of the article, MSNBC's evening lineup may soon look quite different from what die-hard viewers have come to expect. Well, no kidding. Of course, wait till you see the picture of that, but well, I don't want to get into that at the moment, but the NBC Universal-backed cable network is expected to move the trio of Simone Sanders, Townsend, Alicia Menendez, and Michael Steele to the 7 p.m. weekday slot Tuesday through Friday, according to two people familiar with the matter. The group on Mondays will lead 2 hours, 7 to 9, and the move will have a direct impact and implication for Joy Reid, the anchor who currently fills the 7 p.m. slot. She is expected to host her own last show on MSNBC this week. So I guess let's say farewell, send a bouquet, or a selection of Al Sharpton lectures. I don't know, but I just feel like there's reason to celebrate and, well, maybe send a message at the same time. But the thing I think many people are overlooking is that that's not where the axe stopped falling. We have Alex Wagner, who's hosted weeknights from 9 p.m., save for Monday, which is obviously led by Rachel Maddow, expected to be named a contributor according to three people with knowledge of current talks. Wagner, who has been working as a correspondent across the U.S. during the first 100 days of the Trump presidency, while Rachel Maddow anchors each day at 9, is unlikely to return to her weeknight slot. At least that's what they're saying. The corrupt and entitled Jen Psaki is expected to take over at least one of the hours, according to one of the people that they've talked to. MSNBC is also in talks with Eugene Daniels of Politico. Why, I don't know. Maybe because they're going to have to let him go because they don't have any more USAID money. And Melissa Murray, a law professor at New York University who specializes in the regulation of sex, marriage, caregiving, reproductive rights, that would have to join the network in unspecified capacities, according to one of these people. Well, I'm going to say it this way. Somebody there's spilling like a sieve. It's probably Joy Reid, or at least somebody close to her. Could be Alex Wagner. I don't know, but that doesn't set up a positive go from the beginning if you're trying to, come out on top of what's going to be a culling at a network. Now, Puck Media had previously reported on some of the aforementioned plans that we're just now seeing come to fruition. But again, MSNBC has a lot of problems on the way out the door from Comcast Universal NBC. They are really going to be shunned in a way that is requiring them to build up a news network of their own, something that I've talked about a few times on my channel. And all of this is being done in an accelerated way because Rebecca Kutler is just showing up as the former executive for CNN and is now taking over as MSNBC's new president. She obviously wants to make her presence known and put her stamp on this entire endeavor right from the very beginning. And who could blame her? This is a network that is on the way down in an express elevator, and they need somebody to slow it before it hits the basement. Her recent rallying cry included the phrases, "Our jobs are hard on a normal day, and these are not normal times." Well, I'm definitely not one to disagree with her, at least if you're on that side of the news. MSNBC has lost a ton of ground. How and why? Well, they should be pretty obvious. Between the end of 2023, however, and 2025, they seem to have shed about 10.5% of their overall subscribers. And this comes at a time when both Fox and CNN are experiencing similar erosion. And to put that into frank numbers, it looks like MSNBC will average 61.3 million viewers at the end of 2025, rather than the 68.5 million they had in 2023. And of course, as is pointed out here, this is in an election year, a time when you're going to have mass news coverage being consumed and followed by a huge number of people. And all of this has to be supported by a brand new news team that Kutler has to put together on their way to some form of success. What that looks like in the new media hierarchy that includes folks like myself, well, I wouldn't be able to even know. But what I do know is that at least many of us are going to get relief from one of the most obnoxious and incorrect people in television. After all, Reid's tenure was marked by a one-woman PR apocalypse that she alone could rule over. And at times, calling anybody who wasn't white that voted for Trump deplorable brown people, she coined many an offensive phrase. And instead of an actual news program, Reid basically used the Reid Out as a nightly grievance fest that she cast out into the masses, hoping that someone would agree with her. Post-election, Reid's ratings dropped by 50%, and it's rumored that the executives behind the desks were very worried every time she opened her mouth. Which brings us to the question, did her mouth try to cash a check that her show and network just couldn't cash? So as they shuffle the chairs on the deck of the Titanic, we have to ask ourselves what will be left of MSNBC in a month or so. Will Comcast new SpinCo actually be able to survive with a cadre of networks that nobody seemingly wants? We've got CNBC, E, and a lot of other cable leftovers that are the dying old dinosaur on the edge of the road. And I think one of the biggest concerns, at least for Kutler, was money. One of the ways to get rid of money, a so-called Harvard grad that really couldn't carry the water. And with ratings tanking towards the end of the Biden presidency and no Trump bump this time, the folks over at Fox News are saying everybody at MSNBC is in a panic because there's no more hiding losses in Comcast's piggy bank. And if I were Rachel Maddow at this point, and I've recently done a video about her right up there, I would be shaking in my boots because it looks like if she ever drops below $1 million, she's just absolutely gone. She's way too expensive to even be there, and I would be surprised if she lasts another 2 years, maybe less. Some on the outside have suggested that maybe this was a form of woke purge, and this is just the beginning. I think it's a point of salary purge, and I think that hers was just too high, which again leaves our friend Rachel Maddow in the same situation. She better watch out. But as with many things, your replacement is always in the wings, and it turns out it's going to take more than a few people to replace Joy Reid, at least for her racist rants and other things that she brought to the table. But when your ratings slip down below the demo that you absolutely need to win, well, I guess that's the end of it. And to wrap it all up, I'll just say that Kutler may have more changes in store for the folks over at MSNBC, but she's not sharing those with you or me, so I guess we're just going to have to wait. Oh boy, I'm on pins and needles. How about you? Do you think that this is actually going to be the beginning of the end for MSNBC or an opportunity at a second life? Do you think the other networks that are being jettisoned into SpinCo or whatever it's called are going to be able to survive as well? Do you think having to become lean and mean will help these entities reach a different or better audience, something more suitable for them? Or do you think this is like being set afloat on an ice floe? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And keep an eye out. I have some really interesting takes on Snow White. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya for real.